Children of Time. Before I read this book, everyone was recommending it to me, and I was like, all right. While reading it, I was like, and after reading it,
so beautiful. I had no idea.
Children of Time seemingly aims to set itself among the pantheon of great science fiction. There is evident influence of Frank Herbert's Dune, Arthur C. Clarke's Foundation. David Brin is literally name-dropped, and a major component of the story concerns biological uplift, the idea of one intelligent species raising another up to human-type or greater intelligence. I also detect a huge influence from Werner Vinge's A Fire Upon the Deep and A Deepness in the Sky. There are certainly many more influences that I am simply unaware of. And the crazy part is, Children of Time succeeds. I believe that this book will be remembered as among the greatest science fiction novels ever written, among the greatest science fiction series ever conceived. And there are a massive number of concepts at play here.
How many?
All of them, I think.
You've got your classics, massive colony ships traveling across the stars to terraform new worlds, cryogenic sleep to make travel possible over such long distances, artificial intelligence, consciousness upload, nanotechnology, uplifting non-human species, genetic memory, elder civilizations, biological difference engines, megalomaniacal geniuses, insane corrupted digital personalities, Grey Goo even makes a cameo appearance. And then there's one of my personal favorites, a vision of how social relationships would evolve in invertebrates. But a book is not good just because it has many ideas. Thankfully, Children of Time is also immensely entertaining. There's this very dramatic sequence where a scientist is racing against time to find a cure for a deadly virus, and it totally feels like something that Michael Crichton could have written. It thrills and moves at the pace of like Andromeda Strain. But here's the thing, the character and all the people the character is trying to save are spiders in their spider society, which is wildly different from human society, and yet it grips just like a Crichton novel. In my review of On Earth as It Is on Television, I claim that that book is science fiction because it is. There are aliens, there is telepathy. However, that book is not aimed at people who seek out science fiction. Rather, it's sort of a more cozy, contemporary, fun story that's very casual and very light on the sci-fi concepts. Children of Time is not that. Children of Time is aimed squarely at those people who seek out the sci-fi section of the bookstore or the library or wherever you're getting your books. The Venn diagram of people who are going to enjoy both books may just contain me in the middle. I hope not. I hope that many of you out there might pick up or at least give a chance to both books. I think the hardest part for those who are not hardcore science fans when reading Children of Time might be the way the book catapults forward through time. This is a book of parallel storylines. One of the storylines takes place over evolutionary time periods and tells this very far-reaching story of a whole species gradually increasing in intelligence, socialness, and awareness of the universe around them and their place in it. The other story is of a human who's yo-yoed in and out of cryogenic sleep with decades or centuries between each snooze. And for some readers, that might be disorienting. For some other readers, those more hardcore sci-fi readers, that alone might be enough for me to sell you on this book. So it's got big ideas, and it's entertaining. What about the plot? What about the characters? Yes. Well, I don't think this book is going to be remembered for its characters in particular, but I'll tell you this. When things got rough, when it looked like all hope was lost, I was deeply concerned for these characters. And not only that, but the author made me concerned for the whole species. I was worried about the survival of these made-up science fiction societies on a massive scale, the kind of scale that typically we can only think about intellectually and distantly. You know, you see numbers about some horrible catastrophe and how many thousands upon thousands of people have died, and in a lot of respects, that's less emotionally moving than like, oh, my goldfish died. Sorry, I didn't deliver that in the right tone. My goldfish died. Because it's personal to me, right? It's something close to me. But the story somehow is making me feel these things for, obviously, fantasy, something that is not real, but also on a massive scale when I can't even necessarily name the individuals. And that alone makes this a really impressive and incredible book. I do not know how the author did this. And I read every book as an author, as someone who's like, okay, cool, I want to enjoy this experience, but I am also here to pick up tips that I can put into my own writing. This is something I don't even want to attempt to imitate, because just where do you even begin?
How'd you do this?
And if you're like me, you worry a little bit about reading a sequel to an amazing book that really affected you. You worry that it can't live up and it's going to maybe sully the experience and the memory a little bit. But nope, Children of Ruin is amazing. It's an incredible book. It absolutely lives up as a sequel to its predecessor, and it's surprisingly different in its shape, in the nature of its plot, and the tensions that it's dealing with. Ruin dives deeper into an exploration of communication between intelligent beings, who are so vastly different in their experience of the world, their anatomy, their culture, that despite their immense intelligences, that may not even be enough to bridge the gap of understanding between them. Adrian Tchaikovsky does an amazing job tearing apart this idea that any sufficiently advanced races of aliens and humans and whatnot, well, it'll be trivial for us to communicate with each other. I would love to reference the movie Arrival at this point, which again is something that just people endlessly recommend to me, but I have not actually seen. But I feel like based on the vibes and the way people have described that movie, that's what we're looking at here, right? That movie is about communication, is my understanding, between humans and this very, very different alien. And Children of Ruin leans more into that. There are aspects of communication in Children of Time, but it's more of a survival story. It's about many things. I hate to boil it down into one topic or one concept or problem. And that's where it shines, is these books are so incredibly imaginative and they're grappling with so many different things successfully. One of the warnings frequently spoken by some of the more intelligent observers of the ongoing artificial intelligence boom is that accurate communication with these artificial systems is often misleading. The sense that we have communicated clearly and been understood is a very easy illusion to fall for, and Children of Ruin in particular dramatizes this challenge phenomenally. And it is at this point that I confess that I've not actually read the third book in the series, but people tell me it's awesome, absolutely lives up to the other two, and I am working to make sure that it gets on my reading list, and soon. But I wanted to release this video before I'd actually read it. So, if you read all the sci-fi classics, you love those big sci-fi ideas and the culturally significant sci-fi, then Children of Time is a must-read. You need to get your hands on this series sooner rather than later. But if you're not that reader, if you're more inclined to check out On Earth as It Is on Television, I would still encourage you to give Children of Time a chance. This is something special. This is something unique. It's obviously not for everyone, but it is the sort of thing that maybe you take a chance on it. Because books like these don't come around very often. Don't be left out. And speaking of not being left out, consider signing up for my mailing list. Link in description and pinned comment. My second novel is coming out at the end of this year, and it's something special. Maybe not all-time science fiction great special, but a moving and worthwhile story.